Alright guys, in this video I'm gonna talk about why I left the church. Okay, I left the church recently, or one particular church. I'm not gonna say the name, but I left the church because the pastor himself was apologizing for preaching the Bible in the church. Okay, I was in the church and the pastor is preaching from the word, from the Bible, right? King James Version. And he's literally apologizing to the members inside of this church for preaching directly the words that are in this book. Imagine, he's apologizing. He's saying, sorry guys if this comes off as harsh to you, but I have to stick to the Bible. I have to preach the Bible. This is the word of God. I have to talk from the Bible. If it sounds harsh to you, I'm sorry. If it sounds hard, I'm sorry. I'm like, what kind of pastor is this? Are you afraid to preach the Bible itself in the church? This is not people outside the church. These are supposed to be the Christians. And you have a problem to preach the book itself to people in the church. Okay, he's like, I'm sorry. And he said that, when I read the Bible and there's something that I don't like when I'm reading the Bible as a pastor, if I don't like something in the Bible, then I need to look at myself and see how can I change. Because God is perfect, right? God is perfect. So if anyone is wrong, then I'm the one who's wrong. I'm a human being. I'm wrong. God is right. So if there's something in this book that I don't like, something in the Word of God that I don't like, then that's me, my problem. I need to change. So I'm sorry guys if this comes off as harsh to you. When I heard this pastor preaching, talking like this, apologizing for actually preaching the word of God in the church itself, that's when I was like having serious doubts if I should come back to this church or not. And honestly, since that day, I haven't been back there. I never went back to that church since then. And there's another thing that also happened. I was talking to some of the leaders right after this very same sermon. I talked to some of the leaders in this church, okay, and one of them had recently traveled to Africa, okay, to some particular country in Africa where they don't accept LGBTQ community and they don't accept homosexuals, okay. The guy said that when he traveled there, they were beating up homosexuals in front of the children, so that the children will grow up to learn that this is wrong. This is a wrong way of living, and it's against the Bible too. Sodom and Gomorrah, God sent fire from heaven to kill gays, okay? So, hey, that's serious stuff. I mean, God himself killing the gays in the Bible. Now, if they're doing that in some countries in Africa still, according to the leader in the church, not the guy who was preaching, but another leader who was in the church that I spoke to after, and I was like, man, that system, I mean, which system would you rather prefer? The one where homosexuals are out in the streets showing their asses, promoting it, being on TV everywhere, promoting according to the Bible, wrong lifestyle? Would you prefer that, or would you prefer the way that they do it in Africa? And in Africa they eliminate this from happening. They really do their best. And the leader in the church, he's like a prayer group leader, this guy who has been traveling to Africa to experience this, he couldn't give me an answer. You know, which way do you think is better? You know, in our part of the world, they promote homosexual lifestyle, which is against the Bible. And you're a leader in the church, right? And in Africa, they don't promote it and they shut it down, and they give people life sentences in prison for this. You know. So which one would you say is right? Which system of dealing with this issue do you think is more effective? Which one do you think is best? This leader of the church who's been preaching the Bible to his group every single week and praying with his group every single week, he couldn't give me a straight answer. He couldn't even answer my question. Which way of dealing with this homosexuals do you think is the best way? Homosexuality. Which way, which society is doing it in the better way? He couldn't give me an answer. Not even from the biblical perspective, he couldn't give me an answer. He was quiet. What does that say about the church? What does that say about sticking to the teachings in this book? You know, sticking to the teachings of Jesus. You know? Are the pastors afraid of preaching the word itself? Are the leaders in the church afraid to actually take a stand on what this book, what God says? And is that the people that I want to follow? Is that the people that I want to associate with? And be like, yeah, those are my people there. They're afraid to stand up for God, you know, stand up for the right thing. You know? Maybe it's better for me to just read the Bible by myself, you know? I'm starting to think like this because I'm trying to find a church that's like, you know, really sticking to this book. But I'm not having, so far I'm not having any success in finding it. So maybe you guys can comment down on this video a good church that actually, you know they're serious and they stick to this Bible here, you know, they stick to the teachings of God. That would be amazing to find it, you know, to find a church where people are not afraid of taking a stand for what God actually says, you know, not apologizing for preaching the Bible, you know. That would be, you know, a step in the right direction, I think. Let's just start with that. If you're a Christian and you're a pastor in the church, maybe you should start preaching from this book a little bit more, you know? Because it seems like he's not the only pastor. It seems like pastors are afraid to speak what's in this book because it's not politically correct. It's not, you know? It doesn't accept, you know, a lot of things that they're forcing us to accept nowadays in society. Especially, for example, homosexuals, LGBTQ, whatever, these gay marriages, not okay from the Bible's perspective. So I'm just curious, if you guys know a church that preaches the Bible itself, let me know. Comment down below in this video so I can check it out and, you know, learn something new. You know, that would be amazing. Thank you guys. Have a good one.